I'm here in the WE25 Diverse Podcast Studio with Thy Tran, our closing keynote speaker who just came away from a standing ovation at the closing keynote. Thank you so much for the inspiration that you provided us during the keynote. Thy is the Vice President of Global Frontend Procurement at Micron Technology, and she closed out our conference in the most wonderful way. She told us about her journey from being a refugee to a vice president, and it was so inspiring. It brought tears to many people's eyes. Your acknowledgement of refugees around the world meant a lot to a lot of people in the room, including myself, who happens to be a fellow refugee. We're going to do a short question and answer segment with Thy based on the questions that the audience submitted through the WE25 mobile app, which I've been calling your best friend at conference. You need to watch this very special, powerful video of Thy providing us her journey, her life story, and what she's made of her life, and how she's embraced her own story in such a fabulous manner. And it tells you the pivots come and you go with the motions, and then you fulfill your dreams along the way. And your dreams might change, but you continue to fulfill them. So Thy, I have a couple of questions for you from the audience. So first is, we had an audience member who said, I am so impressed with your passion, story, and accomplishment. How do you find the time to do it all?
Oh, well, first of all, I don't sleep very much, but I don't recommend that. Sleep is good. I learned to put my energy into everything I do, and there's sometimes you revisit certain hobbies and passions, and then other times you crank it up a notch. But I learned to manage my time pretty efficiently. And, we don't have to be perfect at everything, right? You got to know when good is good enough. So you move on to the next thing and maybe circle back and perfect it later.
I agree. And that's one of the things, right? When people ask, how do you do it all? Yeah. It's also sometimes you have to take your priorities, right? Okay. You're a VP at Micron, I'm a director at Trinity. Sometimes our jobs come first. Sometimes our families come first. Sometimes our hobbies come first. Exactly. And sometimes we just come first, yeah. Right? And sometimes it's all I'm going to do today is sleep. Or all I'm going to do today is do a couple of other things, or paint, as you like to paint, It's we're both painters. And so really I think it's a matter of figuring out what your priorities are for that specific time frame and then move on. And I love how you shared that because...
Thank you. And I would like to call out, my husband is a big part of the support. Behind every great woman is a great man.
I am sure he will say the same about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with that, let's move on to our next question from the audience. How do engineers build time for philanthropy and giving back in their already busy lives?
Sure. Well, these days with AI, you can get AI to do a lot of things for you, and then you can make more time. But I think philanthropy comes in different ways. You can give money, you can attend a function, and you make that part of your social life, right? So you can kill two birds with one stone. And so you get creative about it. And I think that finding time for philanthropy can be, a really great gift and very rewarding.
So on your philanthropy, what would do you have any for engineers, any suggestions specifically on philanthropy they can do?
Yeah, so engineers can actually help, set up websites for people, for organization. Engineers can also mentor for philanthropy, and so there's a lot of nonprofits out there, and also Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and so many opportunities where we can use our skills and teach the fundamentals, right? And just basically bring everybody with us.
Yes, with SWE, we we want to make sure that everyone understands that SWE is a community for women engineers and their allies, right? And so it's a matter of the philanthropy you do could be as simple as going to do an outreach activity, could be as simple as building a website. It doesn't have to be something big and grand, and it doesn't have to be writing a gigantic check. Yeah, it could be just your time.
Right. And by the way, my husband is also an engineer, and you can do robotics, right? Yeah. You can also help kids build robotics.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What's your favorite part of philanthropy? What do you do?
The favorite part is to see the results, right? So if you help someone, when I was traveling, I would literally keep some of the toiletries, and then you can give it to refugees, for example. And so there's so many different ways, and you also see, children, right? They will come up and see you years after and say, oh, remember this and that. And when I worked at the community center, huge opportunity to to give back. So, I also gave art lessons for free, right? So, tutor for free as well. So, but so many different ways and things.
And when you say you give art lessons for free, like what kind of art lessons? As a fellow artist,
so I could, drawing, watercolors, painting, and collages, and also I'm a big, I love photography, and I actually gave a little lecture at the Stanford cohort. So there's so many, and I don't think you have to be the best and the most talented. You just share the gift of time, and you share some tricks and and some cool stuff that they can do, and they just love it. Because a lot of times they don't know they can create something of their own, right? So
yeah, the biggest thing about art is you think it has to be perfect, but the only person it has to be perfect for is you. And so that means, do you like it or do you not? And it's like teaching them to express their uniqueness, right?
Right. And we're usually our worst critics, right? So when you see other people just loving what you do and enjoy and appreciating your art, it's huge. It's gold.
That's awesome. I know, it's just one of my favorite things. Sorry. Everyone knows that art's become a big part of my life since COVID. Not everyone, but those who are close to me, big part of COVID. And I just, when you and I got to know each other and you were talking about your art, I was like, oh my God, here's another engineer who also loves art. And it's just a heartwarming experience to also carry that kind of affinity as well. So greatly appreciate it. So how do you continue to find drive, motivation, passion throughout the years of seemingly endless experiences to grow yourself both personally and professionally? I'll stop there first.
So one time I saw some, I think TED Talk or some article about being multi-potential, right? And I just literally get obsessive compulsive about something, like when I learned tennis, I played 8 hours a day, or when I got into painting or collecting books, right? So, everything you do, if you just give it your all, and again, you can always circle back.
And there's a follow-up question from the audience on that one. So what do you recommend for people who don't know how to start or might resist doing or learning new things?
So I love this line from some chess game, but it says, in order to win, you have to make a move, right? So you don't have to go, all out. You can just do baby steps, right? Just baby steps and just do something, right? Just work up the courage, the conviction, the commitment. And through that, once you start that baby step, then you actually gain confidence. So this virtuous cycle.
Yes, it is. And, it's like finding your passion. Just because when you want to find your passion, you're going to might more than likely have to try things a couple times, and then you might find something, or you keep trying, and there's nothing wrong with starting and stopping, right?
Yeah. And for every hour that you kind of park, put on the burner, you actually get that hour to discover something new, right? Because you have no idea what your superpowers are. It's still out there, and you can still look for it, and you have no idea what your passions are. So, tomorrow's passion is just around the corner.
Thank you. And we are recording this live after the Q&A, and just because, and if the audience is paying attention, we've got actually members of the audience who are taking pictures from outside the booth. So we greatly appreciate everyone, and sorry about if our eyes, my eyes are going into different directions. Apologize, but you can clearly tell we're recording this live. So I do have my last question for you, and this one is a question that hopefully won't make everyone cry, but I do feel like that is potential for, is that what do you wish people understood better about the refugee experience and how it shaped your perspective?
I mean, simply put, right, we all just are seeking a better life, right? So you may be privileged to already have your freedom and your position, but if you think about the time we have on this earth, right? We're here just for a very fleeting moment in the billions of years, and so embrace the humanity and put yourself in their shoes, right? So there is nothing that should prevent us. We're all in it together, and I feel like if people understood that it could be you tomorrow, right? That is seeking a better life. So have some grace. Whatever corner you come from, your makeup, your class, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, we all want the same thing. So be kind, be gracious.
No one wants to leave home normally, especially their home, or especially they don't go to, most people don't want to go to a place that they don't speak the language, or not there where most of their family is, right? They only do it because they feel like that's their only choice to survive. And so, you know, thank you so much for that, because think if we all understood that, like, most people don't want to be refugees, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're often, you know, we feel like strangers in strange land, and that's why we embrace everything, right? So, I just feel the plight of refugees is something that is just so near and dear to me, and I think seeking a common understanding and just kindness would help us all.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt, but, like, you know, when I was growing up, we always were like, you know, we're gonna go home. Like, as soon as this regime is over with, we're going home.
Yeah.
Like, so we lived in two worlds, right? Yeah. Like, we, you know, it gave me an experience I didn't have, like, my culture and my language, and an experience I didn't have. But I always knew that when this ended, I was going home. Yeah. Clearly, I'm still here today. The regime's ended, but I'm still here today. But my entire life, I knew that, like, I was, you know, like, we're going home. Yeah. And I think that's what, you know, some of it is that, like, I don't know, did you feel like, when you came over, did you feel like, I'm going to get to go home, or were you?
Well, yes, at some point, and then you acclimate, you integrate, and then you embrace the culture that you're with, right? And so I feel very American, but when I come back to Vietnam, you know, it also moves me, and I know I embrace my roots, you know, so you know, in terms of you know, coming home, home for me is now, you know, everywhere, and it's more about the people that I, you know, hold dear in my life, the friends that I meet along the way, friends for life.
Yeah, I love that, because I always tell everyone I have 2 or maybe 3 hometowns.
Yeah.
And so, like, one is Misrata, Libya, and the other one's Lexington, Kentucky. And it's because I truly do, like, I've been to Misrata maybe my whole life, like, less than a month, but it's still, like, where my family's from. But Lexington, Kentucky is where I grew up, and I lived, and, you know, became an American, and truly, like, embraced being an American. And so I feel like, but, you know, but it's where your heart is, and it's the combinations of people.
Yeah, I just want to circle back to the refugees. You know, if you can just imagine and put yourself in their shoes, you know, what would you do? What would you want? What would you want humanity to do, right? So again, we're here in a very short time. Make it meaningful and make it count.
Thank you. I love that. I love that advice. And thank you so much for sharing it with our audience. And then again, thank you for such an inspirational closing keynote. It was, I don't even have words for it. I was just very moved.
Thank you.
Very moved. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, definitely came from the heart.
Yes, it very clearly came from the heart.
Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, do you have any closing remarks you would like to make for our audience?
Yeah, well, of course, so nurture your dream, right? Just find the courage, and just, again, baby steps, and just really go for it. You only have one life to live.
Oh, and before I forget, I'm just going to have to say, I've been doing these Q&As, and there's been a theme, which is pink. So between all 3 of our keynote speakers, they all had on pink. So it's pink power. It's that, you know, pink power, and I think the pink just came through. And so love it, love it, love it. I'm loving your pink as well. So thank you all. Like, pink power. It's the conference of pink power. I can't believe that WE25 is over and has come to a close. And the learnings, the networking sessions, the inspirational insights. If you missed T's closing keynote, please go to the Advanced Learning Center at advancedlearning.swe.org, where we'll have the full video. And again, you should not miss this inspirational presentation. Again, Amina Darrat, FY26 SWE President, wrapping up live at WE25. Thank you to everyone who has made this conference so unforgettable. And I hope to see you all November 5th through 7th. And 2026 at WE26 Boston. Please bring your coats.